In this podcast episode, Matias De Stefano and John Churchill discuss the concept of cycles in nature and how it relates to the history of civilization, particularly the story of Atlantis. They emphasize the importance of understanding the patterns and cycles of nature in order to make necessary adjustments for the future. Matias explains that Atlantis was not a civilization focused on external conquest, but rather on inner development and understanding the cycles of nature. He describes how the civilization sought to harmonize with the natural cycles and prepare for the inevitable fall and rebirth of their society. The conversation delves into the idea of reincarnation, both on an individual and collective level. Matias explains that the last 500 years have been a period of quickening, marked by the spread of empire forces over the world. He also introduces the concept of extraterrestrial forces that have the ability to travel through the fifth dimension and understand the system of the universe. He mentions the Gray Ones as an example of a civilization that is often perceived as the bad guys on Earth, but may have a deeper understanding of the cosmic system. John reflects on the disconnection of modern civilization from the natural cycles and the sacred world. He discusses the impact of Christianity on separating humans from the sacred and the loss of awareness of the natural cycles. He also emphasizes the need to remember the history and cosmology of civilization in order to navigate the current transition. The conversation then turns to the origins of the forces that drive conquest and division in the universe. Matias explains that the division of the universe into light and dark, or good and evil, was a result of the initial trauma of division. He describes how the universe constantly divides in order to understand the link and connection between all things. He also discusses the different paths of evolution for civilizations on other planets, emphasizing that each planet has its own unique path and understanding of good and evil. The conversation continues with a discussion about different conceptions of God and the idea that there are multiple gods with different perspectives and intentions. The guests explore the concept of good and evil from a cosmic perspective, considering the idea that different civilizations and planetary systems may have different evolutionary paths and moral codes. The conversation then delves into the idea of a galactic federation, where different races and civilizations coexist and interact. The guests share insights into the dynamics of the Galactic Federation, explaining that there are laws and codes of ethics that govern interactions between different planetary systems. They discuss the idea that some civilizations may have different evolutionary typologies and that there are both good and bad actors within the Galactic Federation. The conversation also touches on the concept of planetary consciousness and the role of Earth as a mother cell in the larger cosmic body. The guests explain that Earth is a unique and valuable planet in the cosmos, and that it is protected by the laws of resonance and evolution. They also discuss the idea that Earth is a place for learning and evolution, and that the planet itself is guiding the process of awakening and growth. They also explore the idea of internal technology and the role of psychedelics in expanding consciousness and inner knowledge. They discuss the importance of integrating inner and outer technologies and the potential for psychedelics to accelerate the process of awakening and growth. The guests emphasize the importance of living in alignment with the planet and the process of awakening. They discuss the need for humanity to remember its true nature and to align with the unfolding of the planet's consciousness. They also highlight the importance of creating an environment for learning and growth, both individually and collectively. The conversation continues with Matias sharing his memories of ancient Egypt, where he claims to have lived a past life. He describes a society that was deeply connected to nature and the elements, with a strong emphasis on community and spiritual growth. Matias explains that in ancient Egypt, people were organized into clans based on the elements, such as water, earth, fire, and air. These clans were not based on blood relations, but rather on the spiritual and energetic connections between individuals. One of the key aspects of ancient Egyptian society was the understanding of sacred sexuality. Matias explains that sexuality was seen as a way to connect with the divine and harness the energies of the chakras. He describes how individuals were matched with partners based on their elemental clan, and how sexuality was used as a tool for spiritual growth and connection. The conversation then shifts to the topic of the cyclical nature of human existence. Matias explains that the current era is transitioning from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, which has significant implications for human consciousness and spiritual evolution. John adds to the discussion by highlighting the importance of slowing down and remembering in the face of a fast-paced and impatient modern civilization. He shares his own experiences of impatience and the realization that going faster actually requires going slower and harmonizing with natural rhythms. The conversation also touches on the trauma and repression of sexuality that has been perpetuated by monotheistic religions over the past 2,000 years. Matias explains that the disconnection from spirituality has led to confusion and trauma around sexuality, and that the current era is experiencing a reawakening of sacred sexuality and a release of this trauma. The podcast concludes with a call to engage with the planet and understand the subtle rhythms and cycles of nature. Matias encourages listeners to slow down, harmonize with natural cycles, and let go of the impatience and rush that modern civilization often imposes.